And welcome back to the Crypto Hawk Show, the one and only deep diver. You know, I see little clippets of other people's shows, and they always seem to be talking about what we talk about like 3-4 days later, you know? We're like a week. It never fails. I'll find something out, and then about 3-4 days later, bam, starts showing up on all these other channels. I'm like, feels good. Anyhow, welcome back to the show. I thought I'd bump it up. It's Friday. I didn't want to work from... I got shit I got to do, man. It's Friday, you know. I got to go to Costco and pick up some stuff and do some stuff, you know. But today's a great day in crypto. It really is. I love having a channel. I love doing research to show people how to get rich. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Smashing, darling. But, yeah, I get to look up cool information, share it with you, help you make better investments, maybe sell off something you shouldn't have. But YSNY says, I love this channel. Please hit the like button. Says Crypto Bat. So I'm bummed. My cold chiller, I think, is pretty much done. You know, when I first got it, I don't know what happened. I don't want to admit to anything in case I fucked it up. But when I first got it, I kind of started having problems right away. But at one point, it made some weird noise. Then I turned it off after about 30 seconds. I'm like, this should not sound like this. So, and then what I noticed is over the past maybe 8 months, it would like freeze up like frequently, like from day one. Like it would get to a certain chill point and then it would just shut off. Then I have to let it rest for an hour or two and then turn it back on. And I noticed I'd have to keep doing that. Like it would never just go to from start to finish and just start creating ice. Like I'd show you guys would have kind of like a slush in there, or some days I'd have like the really thin ice sheets. But I looked at their the website to this place, and I don't know if they added the ice to it, but I was looking at it the other day, like, you know what, my unit's never made ice like that. So I don't know. So I'll be calling this guy. They're pretty helpful. Like they'll call you on the phone and do a FaceTime with the phone and try to see what's wrong and shit. So, and he was trying to like help me clean the filter thing and do, but now it's a point where this thing goes on like between 1 to 2 liters per minute. It used to hit like 18. I don't know. They need to send you another one. Yeah, it's looking like they got to send me another one. This thing ain't working. I was cold plunging today by myself, and it was like 55 degrees in there. I'm like, so I sat in there for like 20 minutes, you know. Hasn't it only been a year? It's been 8 months. Coasty. It's been like 8 months, and that thing like busted. Like I said, I don't know if I did something wrong. I'm not going to admit it here if I did. So, still under warranty. I think it's like a 1 or 2 year warranty, but I bought it with my American Express, so they warranty that shit no matter what anyway. So, I'm not worried. That's why I buy shit with that American Express card, because it comes with automatic warranties and shit. It does cost a lot. The American Express card's like $700 a year to have that business platinum one or whatever it is. But, and it has lots of benefits. Like, I'm going to be traveling probably to Thailand. I don't know. I'm hoping next year in 2027. And I'm going for free. Airfare and hotel. The amount of points that I'm going to be accumulating. So I already got a lot of points already. So They need to send you a replacement. I know, it's part of my show, so now I can't be cold plunging anymore until they send me. I'm going to see if I can cold plunge on my own at 55 degrees, if I can get that thing to get 55 again. Right now, it was showing 70. Let me show yous. Okay. Right now, it's at 61.6, and it already kind of turned off. So now it stays at like 1 and 2. Now it's at 0, right up there at the top. So now it's showing 0. This is so fucked. Holy crap, dude. I don't know. I'm going to have to cold shower or something for like, I don't know. I can't just not do this. I'm going to start getting sore and shit. Well, it takes a while. It'll take me like a month or something, but 2 weeks to a month. But hopefully I'll talk to this guy tomorrow and say, man, you need to send this shit like right away. I need this within like 2-3 days or something because I can't fucking function. All right, Ed Smith, let's chip in and buy Hulk a good one. Oh, shit. Yeah. All right, let's get into this. Citibank. Oh, wait, my name's Crypto Hulk. I'm not a financial advisor, not a crypto advisor, none of the above. I don't know anything about crypto. I don't know anything about financial advice. I'm the actual worst person to ever have a crypto program. I do so much blow. I do so much coke, chiba, black tar, methamphetamines, LSD. I stay high 24/7, and I have for the past 6 years. I've got kicked out of 5,000 drug rehabs in the past 6 years. I'd be the last person you'd ever want to listen to for financial advice. All right. Let us do a copy and a paste. Just checking in, saying hi, bro. Says Matt, 59754. Remember that name. Hello, Matthew. Welcome back. Between us, fuck them. Send you a new one. I mean, I'll tell you what. Something. How I use that ice cold plunge thing. Think about it. 7 days a week, man, like a fucking warrior, right? 34 degrees, as cold as I can get that thing. A lot of times I was seeing it pinging at 32.7. Just keeping it real. But I'm not trying to like screenshot that. But okay, so let's think about this. I get that thing to 33 degrees 7 days a week for 8 months. Now think about how the average person probably uses that thing. 3-4 times a week, about 47 degrees. So I probably used up 2 to 3 years worth of cold plunging in 8 months. Like when I get on that thing, it's blazing cold. Like I'm fucked. And I'll go in there 7. And these people that cold plunge, they're only going in for like, keep it real, 1, 2, 3 minutes, 4 if they're a beast. And that's at like 47 degrees. So I think I burned up that motor and shit in 8 months at the rate that I used it. But what do I know, right? Okay, we got YSN. Hulk, the cold plunge really makes that much of a difference for recuperation? Absolutely, dude. I'm telling you what. I'm not doing that shit for what they say, shits and giggles. I'm a wimp, but at my age, I'm thinking I should do it too. I'm telling you, man, that's why I do this shit. Now, they got a cheaper model. It's $2,000. And it doesn't get as cold as mine. It goes down to like 37 or something like that, which is plenty for anybody. Like, I'm kind of like a little bit deranged. So when I do something, I like to go do what nobody can do. I like doing that shit, you know? I like doing what only maybe 1% of the population or a half of one. But I try to do the toughest fucking shit I can imagine. And Keep it up, brother. Listen to you every day. The work you put in. Damn it, seriously? Fuck them. You give them hell. I'm good for it, brother. Fuck yeah, says KDG. That cold plunge thing, I'll tell you what, like, it recuperates. Like, I went in at 55 degrees, just sat in there. It started getting cold about 20 minutes in. I could have sat for another 20 minutes, but now let's say 10 minutes. I was in there for 20 minutes, and it was like me going in the cold plunge thing, and then like I normally do, and then maybe 30 minutes later when I get out. So it took a while for it at 20 minutes to get up there at 55 degrees, but it got close to what I did. And I got no leg pain. I was doing legs today. I'm going to do legs tomorrow. I just sit up for like an hour today, and I'll do them legs for an hour tomorrow. It's 2 hours a week. But the cold plunge, I swear by it. Even if you don't work out, if you're getting older, older being anything over 40, I'd say cold plunge. It's truly amazing. I thought it was just dumb shit at first. Like, and it's Friday, and it's after, yeah, it's starting the weekend already. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, so I'll talk about whatever I want to. I'm sorry that I'm not sorry. But the cold plunge, I mean, you can go in at 55 degrees. I'm telling you, it's not that bad. Just sit in there for like, I just do that extreme shit, man. But that's just how I am. But you could handle heat better than me. So it's like, I'm good with cold. You're good with heat. So it's not like I'm better than you or you're better than me. It's just, we're built differently. Ever since I was a little kid, I used to go out in blizzards that were -20 and play. My mom thought it was strange. She'd tie a rope around my waist just in case she'd have to pull me back in the house. But I was like that as a little kid. I'd go out when it's in extreme weather. It's snowing. You can't see any more than 15 feet in front of you. I'd want to go outside. She'd tie a rope around my fucking waist and stand on the porch. The rope would only go so far, like 20 feet or something like that. And wind's blowing like crazy. And I'd want to go out and play 15 feet within she thought I was nuts, but that's how I was as a little kid. Always hot all the fucking time. And summertime, last year I was in the ER 1 or 2 times. Every year I usually end up in an ER at least once for dehydration. I was in the military on a deployment to Iraq. They sent me to the medic station, almost died from my body. I sucked up 2 IV bags in 30 minutes. That's how bad it was. I was almost dead, dehydrated. And they put ice packs all over me and shit in the medic station and gave me 2 IVs. They gave me one of them, and in about 10 minutes, they stuck the other one in and said, holy shit. And I had 2 of them done. It was about 30 minutes. And they were like, do you realize you could have died? I was like, yeah, I wasn't feeling too good. I was starting to lose my eyesight and shit, Everything was getting dark and kind of like hard to breathe. And I couldn't think or talk. It was that bad. It was like I was looking around thinking, fuck, dude, I'm going to die. At least I could get shot or something. I'd go home a hero. But yeah, that cold plunge is worth it. And you can, I'm 54, so man, I'll try that for sure. And they have different priced ones. I saw one at Costco. They had one that was like $800 or $900 at Costco. Go online. They might have one. If you want a budget one. Look, you don't need to do the 34 degree shit with the ice. That's fucking for me, okay? Go into one, even if it's 47 or 50. Sit in that motherfucker for like 20 minutes, and you'll get bone cold. Trust me. So I just got the extreme shit because that's how I am. So, all right, why are you guys distracting me? Let me get back to the article. Citibank. Let me do a copy. No, you already got the article. All right. Now, 2 days ago, we go over MasterCard with their platform that Ripple helped them build with some other people. They have the MasterCard tokenization platform. Today, it was Visa. Visa's tokenization platform. Guess what we're going to talk about now? Citibank tokenization. Are we seeing a common fucking denominator here? It's happening with the biggest companies. I'm showing you what the biggest companies are doing. They're all getting hooked up with crypto platforms. Citibank is going to start having securities, tokenized crypto securities. They're going to run on this fucking platform that they got. Okay, then it gets put on the blockchain. We're going to discuss Citibank and what technologies possibly are involved with them doing this. They didn't do it on their own. They hired people, and they can talk to Stellar. Stellar's involved, but they can talk. Oh, well, Crypto Hulk gave it away. So let's get into this. They don't need a relationship with Stellar. They've got tech people. They've got their own coders and stuff. Stellar could come on over. Good old Jeb could walk in the door at Citibank and talk to them and kind of watch what they're doing and check in. They can pop up an iPhone and do a virtual reality, whatever. And Jed McHale could look at what they're doing, or Danelle Dixon, or whoever's over there. These smart chief technology officers they got. They could look, and Citibank can get hooked. You don't need to have a relationship with Stellar. You can do all that shit just charging them money. No agreement, no contract, nothing. Maybe just a non-disclosure agreement. And it doesn't mean that Stellar and Citibank are partners. Citibank wants to make a platform. Hey, Jed, we need some help. Send over some people. We'll pay them $500,000 to get this shit done. We'll pay them $5 million. Okay, somebody from Stellar goes over to Citibank, spends 2-3 weeks or a month, 3 months, gets the job done, and they're fucking done. There, it's that. They don't need a relationship with Stellar for that. Alrighty then. Let us continue. Citibank opens. Here we go. Now it's time to get to work, everybody. You guys have been bullshitting for 15 minutes on this program. I got to stop you so we can get back to work. Citibank opens a new route. Oh, they do. Into the private markets with tokenized share offering. It's going to be a tokenized share offering. The bank said it's using blockchain. Oh, what a surprise. All of a sudden now, are you seeing all this thing popping right now? All these companies, banks and stuff are all getting all finteched out. Almost as if there was this green light that we haven't seen. Because every damn day it seems like there's some kind of massive fucking news, right? And what happens to the price? It keeps dumping. See, this is how I know something's up. Like when I worked in law enforcement, I'd come up to a situation. Look, I'm reasonable and average intelligent man, okay? I can walk into a situation, size it up real quick, and be like, this shit seems fucked up right now. I need to investigate. Okay. That's how I would catch bad guys. Okay. I could walk into a scene and look at a lot of different things, body language, eye movement. I could pick out 50 things all within 10 seconds, 5 seconds if I have to. It depends on what I'm in. But I could walk into a situation, start checking everything, what kind of shoes people wear and this, that, everything. I start adding it up real fast. And what I'm seeing with crypto, it's like every fucking day. A lot, 2, 3, 4. This article I could have read yesterday. And there's an Ant Financial. It never fucking ends. I can't keep up with the news now. It used to be, I'll tell you what, it would take me sometimes 3 hours, 2 hours to find news for a show. Just to find the news. Now, I could find news within 30 minutes. On a slow day. On a fast day, I could find news in 5 or 10 minutes. But what I do now is I'll deep dive the article. Whereas before I didn't deep dive as hard because it would take me like 2 fucking hours just to find the news. And then the show takes an hour, that's 3. And if I studied it for an hour, that's 4. Then I got to make phone calls to people. By the way, if you're a member and you're paying, you go ahead and send me texts now and calls. I'm getting kind of low on the people calling. So I've got time. Some of you are afraid, well, I don't want to bug Cryptoholic. You're not going to bug me. I've got plenty of time for phone calls. So, and I even got this one person, I don't remember her name, but she joined up, never called me once. So it's okay to call, even if it's, I'll get you. She signed up. I forgot who it is, but it's been 3 months. Your membership probably expired. I'll give you a month just for free because you need to, I mean, shit, dude, you paid all that money. I'll even probably give you like 2 fucking months, all right? Because you didn't even call at all. Okay, let me get back to this. The bank said it is using blockchain technology to connect investors with private company equity through digital depository receipts. DRR. Citibank is going to have what's called a DRR. It's like this. You got a stock, but then you get a token of that stock. And then that token is a representation of that stock, and you can go buy and sell just as if it is that stock. So I thought that was very interesting. Let's continue. Citibank is launching a new way for wealthy, well, that'll be us, wealthy and institutional investors to buy stakes in private companies. Now, that's very, very good. So like, let's say if I'm rich one day and I want to buy stake in a private company, they're going to use blockchain technology as part of a broader push by major banks to bring traditional financial assets onto digital asset networks. Everybody, they're taking the old school and putting it on the new. The bank on Thursday unveiled what's called the Digital Depository Receipts, a product that allows investors to gain exposure to private company shares through blockchain-based securities issued and held by Citi. Oh, now this is different. Instead of me going to like an investment house like a JP Morgan, a BlackRock is a better example, Citadel, fucking Grayscale. Instead of me going to Grayscale, whatever, I would just go to Citibank because they're going to be the custodian and they're going to hold these securities that I'm going to buy, and they're going to issue me a digital depository receipt. This is massive news because now, like I said, I don't need to go to Grayscale, Citadel, or none of these other little investment companies and try to get in on. So this is when a stock is probably not even on the stock market. Got it? That's what they're doing here. Let's read. This is very interesting to me. The launch comes as many fast-growing companies are waiting longer to go public. So you're going to have a little company, a tech company, wherever it might be, and a lot of times now they don't want to go public right away. They want to wait a little bit longer because when a company IPOs, then it goes on the stock market, okay? There's companies now that don't quite want to go on the stock market just yet, but they can raise money like this right here with the digital depository receipts, DDRs. Let's look into this a little deeper. I think this is a very cool idea. The launch comes as many fast-growing companies are waiting longer to go public, leaving investors with fewer ways to access sought-after private firms. At the same time, demand for private market investments has surged as investors look for opportunities beyond public stocks. Oh, they're avoiding the stock market, I see. Our focus with the digital depository receipts is to continue to expand responsible access to digital asset markets. That's what a Citibank spokesman said. Now, the product debuted with a transaction involving a company called Kaleido. Let me show you that. A digital asset company called Kaleido. Let me do a copy paste so you guys can check it out with Citibank. Some of you guys are already rich. So, and most of us are not yet. So you have Colito. Citibank is working with Colito to get this done. Colito is a digital asset and tokenization company. Think of Securitize, okay? Think of the Rise token, T-Rise. They will be tokenizing for Canton. So think of Citibank as Canton and Colito as Rise, okay? Let us continue. Now, this structure is based on depositary receipts, a long-standing financial product that allows investors to gain exposure to shares through a bank-issued security. So you're not going to the stock market to get the security. You're going to the bank to get these depositary receipts. Very different. You're bypassing the NASDAQ, the New York Stock Exchange. You're bypassing fucking BlackRock, Grayscale, and you're going straight to Citibank, and they've got securities for you called depositary receipts, digital depositary receipts, DDRs. Welcome to the new Citibank. Citi has adapted that model for private companies and recorded the securities on a blockchain infrastructure operated by the Swiss market operator SIX. Let me copy this for you. The SIX Crypt Digital Exchange, that's in Switzerland, and they're operating on what? R3 Corda. And one of the cryptos, here we go. So here's crypto number one officially. XDC is very popular with R3 Corda. Now, before you go running out, getting all the XDC and shit, later we're going to get into this. There is a possibility that the SIX Digital Exchange leaves, not necessarily, the SIX Digital Exchange, R3 Corda platform might go into Canton down the road. Maybe now, maybe later. But it's kind of limited because the R3 Corda is not really interoperable as much as Canton. So what might happen is XDC might not be used as much. So, but we'll get into that more later. But you got to do what you got to do. Don't listen to me. So let's get into this. So Citibank will record these security transactions on R3 Corda. They'll give it to the SIX Digital Exchange. The SIX Digital Exchange will record it onto the R3 Corda platform. More than likely, for trade finance, it'll involve the XDC crypto. The result is a digital version of a traditional financial instrument. Investors own the depositary receipt rather than the underlying shares directly, while Citibank acts as both the issuer and custodian. Citibank holds onto the crypto. It gets recorded on R3 Corda platform in the SIX Digital Exchange and the SIX Crypto Exchange in Switzerland. And the person like me, I hold the token of the security, okay? The bank argued the approach could make private market investing simpler and more transparent than some existing structures, which often rely on SPACs, special purpose vehicle, and multiple intermediaries. Here we go. The launch is part, we're almost done with this article. The launch is part of a larger effort by major financial institutions to tokenize tokenize traditional assets. That means they're turning this whole fucking world into cryptocurrency, everybody. And the first crypto, again, is R3 Corda, and I'm going to say XDC. Tokenization refers to representing real-world assets such as stocks, bonds, or bank deposits as digital tokens that can move across blockchain networks. Citibank joins several of the largest United States banks announcing plans to develop a shared tokenized deposit network through what we've been talking about, the clearinghouse. They're a partner with Fidelity Information Systems, or Fidelity, and they're Ripple partners. So the clearinghouse uses Fidelity, which is all up in Ripple. And that's where these banks in the United States, they're going to put their information into the clearinghouse, I think, eventually. So there'll be a place of record of every transactions and stuff that happens. Okay. But for now, so right now, Citibank's using the Swiss stock exchange called SIX that runs on R3 Corda. The bank, Citibank, said it plans to expand the offering over time and eventually support public blockchain networks, potentially allowing a wider range of investors and institutions to participate. A wider range of investors, maybe brokies like you and me. Let me look at the comment section here real quick. He's like, it's Friday night. Fuck it. Just fucking tell stories and make us fucking laugh. Okay. Let's get back to work. The deep dive. Let's go over that deep dive. So we already know one of the cryptos potentially they're going to use. If they're doing trade finance, we know they're going to use the XDC for now. Now I'm going to cherry pick this. So at some points you'll hear me reading, and other points my eyes will be moving, but I won't be saying anything. It's not the drugs, okay? Citibank launches a digital depository receipt, a DDR. Remember, it's a token of a security. So rather than, okay, it's no different than how it is now, but it's more portable, it's more liquid. So for instance, let's say I own a stock. Charles Schwab, I go to Charles Schwab, I buy 3 million shares of ABC Dildo Company, okay? So, but Charles Schwab holds that stock certificate. Actually, they don't. They have another company, which I forgot who does all that shit. But Charles, we'll just, to simplify this, Charles Schwab holds my stock certificate of ABC dildos, and I got 3 million of those suckers, okay? Not 3 million dildos, 3 million stocks, okay? But I can't do anything with those, right? Because Charles Schwab holds them. Now, what we're talking about are digital receipts, digital depository receipts. It's a token of all that dildo stock. So I could have 3 million of these digital tokens, these DDRs. I could have, if I have 3 million stock, I got 3 million DDRs. I can now take that, go somewhere, and go buy a Porsche Turbo GT with 210 or 20 horse. Wait, 200? I forgot how many horsepower. It's not 220. It's like 700 or whatever it is. I don't even know what it is. It's a lot. And it goes fast. And it's awesome. But that's what we're talking about now, where Citibank's turning these small little companies that haven't gone public yet. They're allowing people to buy stock from them, register it on the SIX crypto exchange or the SIX stock exchange. So now everybody knows in the whole world, I go to the Porsche dealership, I buy the most expensive one they got, and I use these tokens, these digital DDRs, and I use them to go buy the Porsche. Porsche has a system where they check the 6 digital exchange. Yep, they're valid. And then I drive away in the Porsche. So that's what's happening, is you're getting these tokens. But right now, only wealthy people can do this. They're using Citibank's using a company called Kaleido to tokenize this. The primary use case of these tokens, we already discussed, is access to private market equity. So you're getting access to securities that are not on a stock market. And you can hold these tokens in the same wallet that you have. So you have a Citibank wallet, an investment account wallet. You can put everything in there. Normal stocks, these particular stocks, these small digital DDRs, you can put those right in the same thing. You can get McDonald's stock and put it all in the same wallet. It's called Citi Token Services, for short for Citibank Token Services. They're tokenized deposits on private and permissioned blockchain. Ladies and gentlemen, that's why you can't see anything right now. That's why these dumb shits out there talking about chart analysis, they're so fucking stupid. Look, the biggest banks, they're not putting all their shit out there. So these dumbasses who have their little chart analysis where they charge you money to show you their bunghole, they're not seeing, they ain't seeing shit because it's not on a blockchain. This shit's on permissioned blockchains. These dumb shit yahoos that have their, let me draw the inverted cross and the double dildo and shit, they don't have access to shit. They're looking at a chart, which is the representation of a blockchain, and you're not seeing shit because it's not on there. These dumb shits have no business making crypto videos. They're trying to show you all this stuff, and they're showing you the trend line and shit. That's so fucking stupid. You know why? Because all these fucking banks, none of their shit's showing up on your little fancy schmancy trend lines. You're not even seeing probably 75% of the blockchain. The chart analysis people are 75% wrong because they got private ledgers, dark pools, and permissioned ledgers. Oh, so dumb shit can't see it. Okay. Fucking amateur night at the comedy club. Here's what Citibank has. Let me show you this one. Shake and bake. So it's called CIDAP, Citi Integrated Digital Asset Platform. It's a unified backbone. You will not be able to see what happens on this blockchain because it's private. It's permissioned. You're not going to see anywhere. You're not going to see the millions and billions that are in this thing at all. It's not going to show up. It's not going to show up on the main blockchain that makes prices go up. So just thought I'd let you know. They're working with the DTCC. DTCC involvement for asset life. Let me do a copy paste so you can see it. So we now know that Citibank is working with the DTCC. That's Canton Coin right there. There's your paragraph. There's your sentence right there. Wisdom Tree, Avalanche, and then with DTCC involvement. DTCC involvement. There you go. Canton Network right there. Kaleido is the platform that they're using, Citibank's using to tokenize on. Kaleido, and you notice how they talk about life cycle management? So I'm just going to come out and tell you, they're using Canton Coin, and eventually they're going to wipe out that R3 Corda shit, all right? That's just how it's going. All right, Kaleido debut. Now notice with Kaleido, they're also dealing with life cycle management. Oh, and then isn't the DTCC involved in asset life cycle processes? So Kaleido is doing the same life cycle as the DTCC, which is Canton, and eventually everything's probably going to just flip right over to the Canton network and probably leave R3 Corda all by itself in an old folks home, sitting in a rocking chair. How sad. Now, who else is involved with this? IBM. When we see IBM, I hear Stellar. I hear Hyperledger. I'm not going to show you the evidence right now. I don't got time. But when I'm seeing IBM blockchain, I'm thinking Hyperledger, Besu, or Hyperledger itself. And then I'm thinking Stellar. There's other companies involved, but Stellar is involved when I'm hearing blockchain and shit like that with IBM. So that's just me. What do I know? There's another crypto for you. So now we're up to about what, 3? Let me look. We got Artem, the manager director, guy named Artem. Apple stock. The blockchain stack. Okay. It's built on Corda. Let me do a copy and a paste to show you. Remember, good cryptos, what will, in my opinion, what will happen later is they're going to have to incorporate more of the Canton. It's not going to shut down XDC in the R3, but it will take away some of their business. But they have, because R3 Corda can't do all these things. It's for trade finance, and they really need to keep it on trade finance. But where Canton shines is the interoperability, and it does a whole lot of shit. And Corda is limited in that respect, okay? The Swiss SDX, okay, primary for DDRs. The 6 digital exchange is regulated. It's built on R3 Corda. Corda emphasizes privacy. But it was made a while back. Citibank, again, will be the custodian and tokenization agent. So that's what Citibank's doing, being a custodian and the agent. Tokenization agent. That's where Kaleido comes in to join Citibank to tokenize. All right. But they might be leaving the 6 digital exchange with all that R3 Corda and putting it in the clearinghouse instead. That would really kind of be a ouch for the R3 Corda people, okay? Because the clearinghouse is Ripple and it's more interoperable than the R3 Corda. That's why Ripple and R3 Corda split. They used to be partners and they split. Up. All these little bastards trying to give me loans for $50,000 and shit. Accelerating traditional finance. Okay. Grok is saying that there's accelerating traditional finance tokenization momentum. There is accelerating traditional finance tokenization momentum. That means all the old school shit, they're turning into crypto, and it's accelerating, okay? I mean, you can see that in all the news that I have. It's just the biggest companies are all flipping and starting to get into crypto right now. This is massive news. I mean, I don't know when all this happens, but I'm showing you what cryptos they're using. Let me look at where, hold on. So Citibank is a Canton Network partner. You know, the Canton Network, there's like, what, 600 banks involved in that? So technically, Citibank is, I think, validating transactions on the Canton Network. They're a node. So Grok says Citibank's position in the Canton ecosystem. Public ecosystem listings describe Citibank as an active participant in applications on the Canton Network. Oh, man. Or an ecosystem partner. This indicates broader exploration or use of Canton-based applications by Citibank. So I'm not saying Canton's involved with this DDR, but Citibank as a whole is rolling with the Canton Network, okay, and utilizing it and validating transactions, all kinds of shit. They're a node. So there you have that. Canton's interoperability could theoretically allow future bridging. Okay, so a bridge would be going not necessarily away from the sixth digital exchange, but limiting some of R3 Corda's use case, where Canton would take over a lot of the job. Hey, R3, I mean, the XDC is for trade finance. That part, I don't think Canton can touch. Everything else that XDC networks or R3 Corda platforms trying to do, Canton could take it away. All right. But it's not, Grok saying none of that's happening now. But you know what? This shit always happens. So I'm just letting you know. Citibank, here's what Grok says. I'll highlight it for you. Let me do a copy paste. I want you to see this so you know it's just not me trying to sell you some used car you don't want. Okay, let me read it to you. Citibank, okay, major banks like Citi are actively engaging multiple distributed ledger platforms. Well, we already know Citibank's a Canton partner. We already know Citibank's been probably using the Canton platform, duh. And Citibank is now working with R3 Corda platform, which is the sixth digital exchange. So now it's kind of now are you seeing how Citibank's kind of playing both sides of the field, right? It's fucking with the R3 Corda and the sixth digital exchange. At the same time, it's a partner of Canton. Oh, so it's utilizing both blockchains, everybody, just letting you know. Citibank's broader participation in the Canton ecosystem combined with Canton's independent momentum like the DTCC partnership, same day major funding round, growing tokenized value shows healthy competition and experimentation. What did Crypto Hulk always say? All good cryptos work together, okay? Both Corda and the sixth digital exchange and Canton represent serious business-to-business infrastructure. Corda in the sixth digital exchange was the chosen rail by Citibank. Now, future, let's talk about what happens in the future, Crypto Hawk. Are they going to leave R3 Corda and go to Canton? Future interoperability between networks like Canton could become relevant at the as the ecosystem matures. So that's why I told you when I first started this show here, it's not going to happen now, today, tomorrow, probably. As this matures, 1, 2, 3 years maybe, you might be putting R3 Corda out of business. I'll just tell you what, it's going to happen, all right? Canton ain't going nowhere, all right? Canton is taking this shit over. We got 8 minutes left. Okay, I asked Grok the question. Let me give you that question right here. Here's a question I asked Grok. If the sixth digital exchange was going to switch or Citibank was going to switch, which would be the most likely choice? The most likely alternative is the Canton network. In the hypothetical scenario where sixth digital exchange or the Citibank decide to leave R3 Corda, the current R3 Corda enterprise-based infrastructure offerings like the new DDR, Canton Network stands out as the most probable and strategic. Let me show you right here. So as this market matures, which it will, Citibank is going to realize R3 Corda ain't the one. And according to Grok here, Canton Network, this is from Grok, not me, and you saw the question I asked. Canton Network stands out as the most probable and strategically aligned alternative. Ta-da! The market will mature. Citibank will, and I think the sixth digital exchange will both eventually leave R3 Corda like Ripple did and go with the Canton network. That is how I see it going down. Citibank's Here's another quote. Let me show you the quotes. Okay. Read this right here. Citibank's own Tokenization 2030 report explicitly discusses hybrid models and the role of different distributed ledger technology designs, placing Corda in a more siloed permission category. And the Citibank report highlighted networks like Canton for what? Stronger interoperability. I'm just letting you know that whole R3 Corda, and I think with the XDC, they might be on their way. Adios, motherfucker. Okay. But the market's not mature enough. Once this market matures, how long could that take? 1, 2, 3, 4. It depends on how fast they do it. It could mature. It could mature real fast. And then that 6 digital exchange is going to leave that R3 Corda shit and whatever cryptos they work with, be like, fuck it. Right. So I don't know, but I gave you all the copy paste right there. You can pretty much read that shit for yourself. That's why it's not my opinion. This is Grok's opinion right here. Okay, let's read the summary here. If the 6 digital exchange or Citibank were to move away from R3 Corda, Canton is the clearest, most strategically compelling alternative. Let's get a copy paste. I want you to see that because some dumb shit's out there. I do everything fact-based channel. There you go. Fact-based channel right here. If Citibank or wherever going to leave, Canton Network is the clearest and most strategically compelling alternative. There you go. Let me do another copy paste. What does that say? So this is the Canton coin that's used. It offers a superior, Canton offers a superior interoperability proposition, aligns with the DTCC's direction on core assets like treasuries, leverages Citibank's existing ecosystem, and benefits from institutional mail. Look, R3 Corda has got none of this shit going for it, okay? The DTCC is like the biggest of the big, and Citibank now, Grok says, however, a full switch is improbable in the short to medium term. We don't know how long it could take for markets to mature, everybody. So maybe it's 5 years from now. Maybe it's a year. I have no idea. The more likely outcome is a hybrid multi-ledger strategy where Corda continues handling. So what I think is going to be this. Corda is going to get stripped of all the shit that's really, really not good at, put on the Canton ledger, because Corda, we're going to be using the XDC for trade finance. That's what it's good for, the XDC. So Corda is limited on what it's good at. So it's going to take, you have to take the certain jobs away from R3 Corda. It can't do stuff efficiently. That's where Canton comes in. Let R3 do what it does really well, and don't let it fuck around with shit that it's not good at, okay? Here's what Citibank says itself. R3 Corda, everybody, is a legacy crypto, all right? That means it's one of the very first, and it's not really as good because there's better choices now. Rob just got off the plane. Damn it, I missed a disclaimer. Oh, shit. Well, that's always one of the better parts of the show, isn't it there? Robbie, Robert, Bob, Bobby. Here's what Citibank says itself. This reflects the broader industry reality. Citibank itself says tokenized and legacy systems, R3 Corda, will coexist in a messy hybrid model for years, with success depending on pragmatic infrastructure choices that prioritize compliance, interoperability. See, R3 Corda is not these. Now, is R3 Corda a legacy system? Depends. Is it traditional FI? No. R3 Corda is crypto, but the beginning, very, very beginning end of crypto. So in that respect, I call it a legacy crypto system. That's why it's very specific to not call R3 Corda a legacy payment system or a legacy system. It's a legacy crypto system. It was one of the very first, and it did its job for its time, kinda. But now there's Canton, and Citibank itself says there will be a messy coexistence for years because nobody wants to have shit that's not interoperable and all these things. So that's why, in my opinion, and I ran it through Grok, and Grok's like, yeah, when this market starts to mature and they really need a crypto that performs, R3 Corda ain't doing it, okay? That's when the switch is going to happen. When these markets really mature and more shit happens, they need more interoperability. R3 Corda can't do that. It's not interoperable. So that's when they'll have to just sunset R3 Corda and say, thanks for the early years, but we're done. Okay. That's why things change. Crypto evolves and times change. Some cryptos that are good, they're not going to be good later. Okay. XDC at some point, not tomorrow, not next week, probably not next year, but at some point that shit's going bye-bye, okay? So that's why you watch Crypto Hulk Show. Look, I'm just warning you, eventually it's going to happen. Or at least the value on it is going to boo, but I can't tell you when. When markets mature, that's when. I don't know when that date is. You gamble yourself and figure out when that date is. I don't know when the markets will mature. But they could flip the switch real quick and pivot. They could pivot right away, getting rid of R3 Corda and dumping it for Canton if they want. Grok's not God. Grok, sometimes I got to give Grok the answer for him to know, all right? So this is all about choices. You guys got to make your own choice. I just showed some research. This is just my opinion. I don't know everything. I'm just reading. I use Grok to help me figure shit out. But do what you got to do. Like Michael Gilbert says, do what you do, R3. There you go. You've got to make your own decision up. You're the captain of your own ship. Remember, if I've got 15, 20 cryptos, all right, win some, lose some. That's not a big deal for me. I lose out on XDC, fine. I got 15, 20 other cryptos. It doesn't fucking matter. I got Canton. I got Alchemy Pay, Axel. I don't give a fuck about the XDC. I'm not saying it's bad, and I hope you make millions on it. I don't need it. I've got a shit ton of other cryptos. I'm not going to miss that one. What if I could miss out on millions from it? So what? I got other cryptos. That's not going to make or break me. So there you go. Damn, OMB says, damn, I have probably 5,000 XDC or maybe $5,000 in XDC. About to dump it in Canton coin. You know, just don't. I can't tell you what to do. All I do is show you information. I try to use Grok to help show stuff. I give my opinion, but then you got to decide what you do in the end. You're the captain of your own ship. I got my own ship, and I got a direction. My ship's going a different direction. I don't care about anybody else's fucking ship. You shouldn't care about anybody else's fucking ship. You're the captain. You got to figure it out for yourself. So that's what I do in this program. Japan is going to adopt XDC. There you go. There's a use case. But long term, I don't know. That's where you're just going to have to just pull the trigger or not. Put the gun back in the holster and keep walking, or fucking pull the trigger. You got your own choice to make. I think that'll be it. I'm going to go. Yeah, we're an hour and 5 minutes. Okay, awesome. I don't know about tomorrow. I might have I think I'm going to have an AM show, but maybe not a PM. I'm not certain on that. But anyhow, I will get the hell out of here. Thanks for the show. Thanks, Hulk. Okay, you guys got to make your own decisions. I'm not anybody's daddy.